All right, guys. So, welcome to the third episode of the Fight Life podcast. It's the third episode, but second filmed, all right? Because I forgot to record on the first one. Had an amazing interview with, podcast with AJ, Aaron Jeffries from Niagara Top Team, number four ranked middleweight fighter in Bellator. He's fighting Douglas Lima in 2 weeks. Amazing podcast, but unfortunately we didn't film it. So it's officially the third one, the second one you guys will get to see. Uh, Again, I'm a newbie at this, all right? So I don't have any questions, plans, or whatever. But I'm doing this for one reason. It's a big message I'm trying to get out there, helping fighters with finances. And I think the best way to do it is just talk to other fighters, talk to people who've been through it, who's going through it, who's going to go through it. All right, so I'm having a hard time getting a message across. Like my technique stuff, thousands of views, some millions of views. When I talk about finances, it's like dun dun dun. But it's the number one thing that's going to affect fighters. All right, number one reason why they're going to leave. All right, and they have no problem with the grind, physically, mentally, emotionally. All right, be it finances, it's just they can't support themselves. All right, so let's get into it. So Joash Walkins. All right, guys. This guy is my my brother. Um, he's a business partner, training partner, pound for pound best fighter in the Caribbean. Amazing dude. All right. So welcome, Joash. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dwayne Hinds. Good night, everyone. Oh, good day, everyone. Thanks for having me.
All right. All right. So big things happening this weekend. You watched fights last night?
Yeah, boy. Whoa. I was actually juggling in between the CJI and the UFC. Wow, it was an awesome weekend for fights. I didn't have time to look at the ADCC. It was a bit too much to juggle, but as a fight fan, I was quite excited to have a weekend like this. Even up to today, I had to go back and look at some fights and stuff like that. Yeah, it was really awesome.
You saw the Cade Rutullo Tate Andrew fight? Andrew, that
Yeah, wow.
one of the best grappling
Awesome,
matches I've
awesome.
ever seen in my life, man. That was
Yeah,
insane. I was like,
those,
if you ever want to watch a
those,
grappling match, check out the semifinals of the CGI tournament. Cade Rutullo, one of the most exciting matches I've ever seen in my life. Back and forth, attack after attack. It was you couldn't ask for more from a grappling match. What do you think about Adesanya?
Actually, Adesanya came out looking really well. He weathered some early storm and he started to gain momentum. But I don't know if he had just had a lapse in focus or whatever the case was at that particular time. And that just show you how unforgiving the sport really is. And it just take one lapse in judgment or one lapse in actually concentration, and it was all over. But it was an awesome fight because weathered some serious storms and some typhoon from Adesanya.
That's spinning
He
back
endured a lot
elbow.
of body shots, and wow, it was awesome. It was an awesome weekend and all for fight fans. Yeah, you can ask for a better weekend than this.
I agree. I agree. Like I don't get to watch much. I ain't having two kids, running the business, but last night I cut off work and I just took in some of the fights, and it was worth it, right? Like the spinning back elbow was real sick, tricky by Adesanya. Uh, what I think is the most what stood out for me the most is like how unorthodox Duplessis' striking is. It's like you would never, ever teach someone to strike like that, right? Jumping in, rushing in, right? But it just goes to show what I always say, right? The man makes the style don't make the man, right? It's just like
So
unorthodox.
true.
If I was to put that on a reel, right? Like demonstrate, like in the old timers, demonstrating this is how you do a punch, kind of chirping, the kind of like everyone be like, you're gonna try to get yourself killed, you jumping into a punch, blah blah blah. Everything works, right? It depends who's throwing it, how experienced they are, who's how they're setting it up. You know what I mean? So everything works, right? Don't ever discount a technique or say that'll never work, that'll never work, right? It depends, right? It depends who's throwing it, right? Like it all works. It was like it's so ugly to watch, but it's you're seeing it land, and it's like, am I doing something wrong? Was I taught something wrong? You know what I mean? It's like So yeah,
Well, from my experience in martial arts, the purists would look at that, the striking purists would look at that and say that's absolutely crap. But to me is the application and the person who is applying it. It probably maybe a bit ugly, but is the application of what the
ugly or
person is
not,
doing.
it was
And
ugly
yeah,
or
it
not, it was
works.
landed
It
on a
works.
world
Yeah.
class, I mean, multiple, one of the best strikers in the world, and it's landed on him, right? To say it doesn't work or will never work, I mean, it's just like, well, he showed you it does. You can't question it, right?
Yeah.
It works, right? It
And,
works for him, all right? And so
and,
that's like
and
the beautiful thing about the sport is like you can take a completely different route, right? Like, and especially with MMA, you can you just find your own ground, just find what works for you, right? And drill it, train it enough, and find your own style, and you can beat anybody in the world, right?
and what a lot of people don't understand. You see the threat of the takedown. You see the threat of the takedown change the whole dynamic of the game because you have to pay attention to the takedown, and he always have a threat of taking down his opponent. So his opponent needs to pay heed to that threat, and that will definitely open up the strikes for Duplessis. So that is the whole aspect of mixed martial arts and implementing every aspect of the game. That is what makes him so dangerous.
100% agreed. Because if he jumps in the air and you throw up at that, right? If you
Yeah.
miss or he blocks, you're now throwing up for him to level change to go down because he rushes in, jumps up, and goes down, right? A quick level change, right? So if you don't land that shot, right, you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna tag him while he's in the air, right? Right? If you don't land that shot clean, right, or you miss, right, you're exposed to get taken down, right? So the beautiful thing of the game and something that purists, like you said, purist strikers can't appreciate because like you have to do this. I'm like, well, now you're dealing with takedowns, right? Like changes everything. All right, Josh. So just tell people a little bit about yourself. How you got into martial arts, where you at in your career, and like what's the future hold for you right now. So just give us a little rundown, a little Joash Walkins bio.
All right. Well, I'm 34 years of age. Quite old for someone who's still competing, but I have a couple more years in me, about 3 or 4 more years, just to actually see what I can do with this time that I have right now. But I'm a martial artist all my life. I started at the age of 10. Started with the art of judo, the gentle way, and throughout the years, I did some boxing on the way because I had this love for boxing, which was my first love. That what actually got me into martial arts. But at the time, it had no boxing gyms or anything around. So I did the judo, and I was quite successful in the judo. First 3 years was national champ, 10, 11, 12. Started to represent the country in judo. Did boxing nationals, won boxing nationals as a teenager. And I always juggle the sports. Sometimes I play a little cricket here, there. I was always involved into sports, road sweat home and stuff like that. High school cricket. So it was always a juggle between all the sports. And judo started making a twist because my goal was really to either reach the Olympics with judo or boxing. And I was really focused on making the Olympics. But I realized that something was really weird with the system of judo in my country, which is Trinidad and Tobago. And I realized it would be really hard to make an Olympics in my sport because when I went to Pan American and CAC games at the age of 13 and 14, I get my backside whooped from those guys. And I won a bronze I think at the age of 14 in the CAC games. And I just find I wasn't doing something, and no, I wasn't doing something right. And what I wasn't doing right, judo was a hobby to me. I was only training like twice or 3 times to the week, and compared to those guys who were training every day. But at that time, I really didn't know what I was doing wrong. But I was able to figure it out as I got older. And lo and behold, judo, they started going into the schools, and I started teaching judo for primary schools and secondary school. I went back to the schools that I actually went to, and they wanted to bring it up through the schools and the government, and things wasn't working out that way. The money they started paying us, it started to dwindle and get smaller and smaller every time, and somehow the athlete in me was dying because I'm focused. I want to meet Rio Olympics, so um, the red light came up, and I wasn't really into the mixed martial arts, to be honest. My partner Karen Bourne and you Dwayne Hinds, you all started mixed martial arts way before me. And Karen was always trying to get my own. Joash, you need come and try the mixed martial arts. I said, bro, right now I really want to go to the Olympics in judo. That's too rough for me. But I did boxing too, so I don't understand why I said it was too rough. It just probably seemed a bit brutal at the point in time. And I hooked up with a guy called Caleb Edwards, started training mixed martial arts, and my passion grew for it. I realized, wow, I'm really talented because sparring with the guys I really all already had good boxing hands, and the grappling from the judo, it was just easy to transition into the mixed martial arts. But having the knowledge, what I gained from judo, knowing to be the best in the world, it requires a lot more training than 3 times a week or twice a week, which I trained twice by Mr. Caleb Edwards. And I reached out to Dwayne Hinds. Well, this is Dwayne Hinds who I'm speaking to. So if you don't know, he's the interviewer right now. And yeah, I reached out to him that time. I think he was in Jamaica. He wasn't in Trinidad as yet. And I was like, Dwayne, I started MMA and stuff like that. I just knew him from the MMA scene. He was the only guy that to look up to because he was causing a scene in Jamaica and stuff like that. So I look at his fight. I watch how he approach it with the double leg takedown. That's how I actually learned the double leg. I saw Dwayne did the double leg in a fight, and I was like, oh, that's how you do it. It's in the corner because I have a natural grappling instinct. I've been grappling probably over 10 years now, so I could just see a technique and break it down in my mind like that. So when I saw him did the double leg. That's how I learned the double leg, and I started executing it on people in my dojo and stuff like that. And as it went on at that same time between Caleb Edwards and transition between me meeting Dwayne Hinds, I actually started going to Rough House in Port of Spain, met with Dwayne Hinds, and that actually changed my life forever because that missing piece of the puzzle of training every day and that grind and stuff that you really need to progress at a high level. I got that from training with Dwayne. He didn't tell me about it, but he showed me the way of the samurai, and having a example like you was one of the greatest things that happened to me. I went on to we all went to Colombia on our first wait, our first trip was Colombia or it was Martinique. Which one, Dwayne?
I think it was Colombia.
Martinique.
I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Martinique, the fighting series.
Yeah.
The Caribbean fighting series. And
And
Mr. Jason Fraser set it up, and we had a big training camp and a big team going to Martinique and stuff like that. And Jason was just, I had no money to go Martinique, and somehow he pulled a rabbit out of the hat and get sponsorship for everyone and stuff like that. So, yeah, and Dwayne and I went to Martinique. A couple of us, Karen Bourne, Adam De Silva, all of us went to Martinique. And that Jason was like, just bring back gold for me. And I didn't even know how good I was because I used to get beat up from doing every day. Every day I will get choked out about 100 times in one grappling session. And sparring will just wouldn't go my way. He's a bigger, better guy. And but I actually embraced that, and I sure. I wear this jersey for a purpose. I wear this jersey for a reason. Yeah. I wear this intentionally to let people know that you just need to trust the process. Once you put in that work on a daily basis, trust the process and believe in your dreams. And we went to Martinique, and Dwayne was the highlight of that whole tournament. Dwayne submitted. I could remember that armbar. That guy went for a leg lock, and Dwayne just spin and did a far side armbar. And oh my gosh, the whole place just gone wild, and he was in some deep. I think he even popped his knee there. He did some grappling matches, won out his division, won out the ultimate division. Then he had an MMA match. He armbarred that guy too. I was like, wait, this man is on fire. I had my match there also, and I won by second round head and arm choke. And that was the beginning of the journey for me. And we went on to Colombia, where we won 8 medals. Five of us won 8 medals. Was Karen Bourne, Taryn Diaz, Martin Joseph, Dwayne, myself, and Fraser. And Dwayne won a double goal again, just just baffling everybody with his talent and stuff like that. And it was actually inspiration for guys like me who were under him. And I won silver at that event where they actually robbed me, come off the mat crying, crocodile tears, but I knew we had a bright future. And yeah, up to that point, I know we'll continue with the rest in the conversation. So yeah, that's just a little history of me.
Yeah, for sure. That Martinique event was like people like now let's go like the mindset, right? Like I went in there and like people were just like it's so different, right? Like I come from a wrestling background, we just have that grind. I'm used to wrestling 8, 9, 10 matches in a weekend, right? So I grappled my division, did the absolute division. That's the first time I went up to, I didn't even know the guys were black belts. I didn't care, right? I didn't care. And afterwards, I remember people come to me, how'd you do that? How'd you beat that guy? I remember it was Fabrice Nobels. He was like a black belt from France and he was like placed in European championships. He was actually there to do a seminar. And then the other one was like, another black belt in the absolute division who had the school in Japan. And like, he was again there to do a seminar. And like, I was like, they're like, how'd you do that? How'd you beat him? That guy's a black belt. I'm like, what? We didn't have a blue belt. Everything we learned was just online, right? But that's the nice thing about the modern era, right? If you can be, if all the knowledge is out there. If you're willing to, like, we just YouTube, because we understood grappling, we can just watch it and then train it, right? Didn't even have, I didn't like, and we could, and then the YouTube people breaking down details and we just drill it once you put in the time. You know what I mean? So afterwards, I was like, what? That guy's a black belt. So to think back of it now, I did my division, absolute division, grappling match, and the MMA match in 2 days, right? It's just like everyone would be like, "What are you doing?" People spend weeks and months to do one MMA match and take weeks and weeks off. I was like, dude, I was on a mission, right? Like, just only way to get better, right? The same thing with this podcast, right? It's like I know the trust the process. That's perfect, sure, right? It's like I want to get better at doing podcasts. To get first, you have to do 100 podcasts as fast as possible, right? And then I'm gonna have a bigger picture, understand all the elements at play, and then do it for 4 years, and then I'll be good at it. And that's how it works for
Right.
everything in my life, every single thing, right? Do 100 as fast as you can. You want to do judo, go to 100 sessions as fast as you can, all right? When you do boxing, do 100 sessions as fast as you can, and then do it for 4 years. At least that's my timeline, right? Some people might be more talented naturally, might be 2 years, might be 6 years for some people. But for me, that's what I know I need to do. So the same thing with this podcast and everything else, right? But you said two things in there, right? And then, of course, Joash went on to now 15-1 professional record, and we went all over the world together: Russia, Belarus, Brazil. So that was the beginning, and we since then we traveled the world, medaled all over the world, fought all over the world, and it's been an amazing ride, right? And I wouldn't change. There's not much I won't change, right, at all, right? Like it's the best. If you love martial arts and this is your thing, like it's the best life in the entire world when it comes to emotional uh, fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, physical fulfillment, all right, mental fulfillment, all right. But you said two things there. You said one thing there, right? The financial part of it, right? Like we love the
Yeah.
sport, but it doesn't pay. You said you couldn't have the money to go to Martinique, right? And
Yeah.
Fraser had to pull out a rabbit out of his hat, your words, right, to get you there, right? So people
Yeah.
don't understand like the constraints they're gonna reach, right? And I say there's three parts of the journey, right? And all three is so freaking heartbreaking, right? Because I see them, and I'm gonna give you examples, and you know the guys I'm talking about, right? So first
Yeah.
ones, all right, people beginning their careers, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, all right, teenagers in their career, right? They come in there, world of talent, world of potential, all right? And you can see it, right? If they just continue this journey, that they're gonna be superstars, right? And they're starting off way, and they have a way head start because they have us to guide them. All the shit we had to learn by ourselves, and we now processed it. We now gave them systems. So just do this drill, do this drill, do this many times. Da, 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 da. All right. You see it, but then here's what happens. All right. They get 19, 20, 21. They don't have the financial backing at home. All right. The parents tell them, hey, you gotta start making get a job. You gotta start working. They start working, Right? They got to buy a car, they got to pay for rent. You start seeing them less in training, less in training, less in training, and they disappear. All right.
Yeah.
And like it's so heartbreaking because they have so much talent. And if they just had their financial back and just continue going, who knows how far they could have reached, right? That's stage one, all right? So like you know what I'm talking about, right? I'll give you a good like Randy, right? It's a real good example of that, right? It's just like, right? And that when I built this course and what I'm doing now, he is and Niall. Those are two people that breaks my heart who I have the image of when I'm designing this course, right? If I could give them this, then I didn't have the knowledge then, right? If I could give them this, then maybe it could have helped them and saved them, right? So the second stage of someone's career is like the middle of the pack, right? So for us, it was like look at uh what's his name? I'm going blank. Firefighter.
Martin.
Yeah, exactly, right? Serious talent, really good, right? Middle of his career, decent record, 5-1, 5-2, 6-0, around there, right? But then there's no more easy fights. Everything's hard, right? So work
Yeah.
has to get pushed to the side, and training's got to level up, right? If you want to beat this guy, all right? But they're not in the financial situation to do it, so they're trying to still juggle work and training, but then they don't put enough time in training. They end up losing that fight, end up getting discouraged. Maybe they lose another fight and saying it's not worth it. And then they too just fade away, right? And just disappear. All right. Then there's the end of the journey, like me, right? Like you get to the end of the journey, you had a great career, saw the world, all right? But then you know what I mean? You lose a big fight. And then like for me personally, it was like I wanted to get engaged to the wife girl of my dreams, 7 years together, planned on buying this nice engagement ring once I won this fight. Lost the fight, so I couldn't afford the ring. On top of living in the gym, all right, driving a shit car. I wanted to start a family, but I'm 33, 30 now, right? It's like so I love the game still, but my mind started to shift. Instead of driving down the road and thinking about omoplatas and combos and traps, I'm driving down the road thinking about what I'm going to name my kid. You know what I mean? So I started to see that shift, and then I couldn't like to look back at my account. I'm like, all right, I got to start making money if I want to get a house and a car and stuff like that. And it's got to start now before it's too late, right? Like for time, I don't want to be too old before I have to start having kids. I know it's going to take me 4 or 5 years to start saving up to get in a position to do it. Right. And so I'm just like, whoa, man. Like, I look back and like great run, but then 33, living in gym, shit car, no money in my account. Luckily, I had one of my clients, Miguel, was a financial guy, and he started this process, this new journey I went on. Right. So it was MMA for up until I was 33, from 14 to 33, all martial arts. I eat, sleep, dream, everything revolved around martial arts. Now I turned 33 until where I'm now, 40. It's all just been business. All right. And of course, I try to connect to, right? And it started with Miguel. He showed me how to do he's like, okay, you should start your own gym, but okay. And I will help you. I'll invest in you, but I need a business plan. I'm like, okay, how do I do a business plan? So he showed me how to do a business plan, all right? And I presented him numbers, and he looked at it, and he's like, hey, but I'm not going to invest. You forgot X, Y, Z. You didn't have this, and I need to see this. So I went back to the drawing board and did it, right? And I started, and since then, I've just been adding every step along the way. I've been obsessed with business ever since, right? But business connected to MMA and a gym, all right? So that's how where I ended up where I'm at to now. So do you agree with me with those three paths, or do you have anything to add with that?
No, that is absolutely true. Because is that I'm to the end of my career now, and it has been a struggle all throughout. Now, if had I take the time and the effort that I put into sports and I just will to do my personal training, I probably would have found a lot more going on. But what went on for me because I had someone like you um in my life, someone who I emulated, and I see you was always steps ahead of me, right? So I saw you did certain things, I will copy it. And then I saw you do certain things, I copy it. So I was probably one of the more fortunate guys to have someone, a mentor like you are wrong, and I'm still learning, and it's still a struggle. It's still a struggle on a daily basis because I'm training. I'm still an athlete. I'm trying to juggle a business. So there's a lot going on, and I have seen guys fall on the wayside, and I still see people fall on the wayside on a daily basis because of adulting and life and stuff like that. So everything that you're saying is true, and I truly compliment the courage that you take to bridge this gap in between the people who dream to be the best in the world and maintain their financial responsibilities also.
All right. So, yeah. So so now I'm in position, right? Now I'm in. I always said so. And then we had Kirsten Mansell, right? Like Commonwealth silver medalist, Pan American silver medalist. I mean, fought Deontay Wilder on ESPN. I always bring this example up because these are the two images that stick. Him and these are the images that stick in my mind, right? And then I mean, 25-5 professional record, like legit world class boxer, right? And last time I saw him, like not before he came, he still does a few fights, but I'm talking about last time I saw him outside. You know what I mean? Uh, Security guard at a grocery store, right? And I'm just like, is that fucking that's Kirsten Maxwell? I was like, there's no way. You know what I mean? And I went over and shook his hand and like whatever, and it's just like, dude, that guy, how much not like, and people are just walking by grocery, and he's just standing like, yo, you guys have no clue how much knowledge that guy has in his head when it comes to fighting, right? He has a
True, true.
master's PhD in boxing, right? When it comes to if you think about the experience level he's at, right? But look what he's doing, right? I'm like, because I go back to my gym, right? And things are going great, right? I'm just like, how like how is it like how like that how can the gap be so different, right? Like so, and so I'm just like so this is why this whole course and why I'm doing this right now, just like he has all this knowledge, he just doesn't know how to monetize it, right? Because he doesn't have the business skills, right? He doesn't know how to structure a class, create an offer, you know what I mean, build a brand, all right, set up workouts, you know what I mean, lead nurture, you know, and I get it because I didn't know any of this crap when I started, all right? It's just like business plan, like what? I'm gonna open a gym, I'm gonna have people pay me, all right, to train them at the gym, business plan, all right? But you don't know you need to have, you know, an LTV, lifetime value of a customer, you know, you don't have to have a cost of acquisition, right? It's like if someone's asking you, like if someone watching fighting, throw a jab, right? Someone just be like, okay, that's just a left punch, right? But as a fighter, you know, right, you have to go A to B. You need to screw drive the hand, right? You need to rotate the shoulder. You need to rotate the hip. You need to pivot on the foot, right? You need to keep the chin down. You need to exhale on impact, all right? But to them, it's just this for business, for
Yeah,
most
true.
people, for us fighters, right? When they look at business, it's to them, to us, it's just like just open a gym, just coach people, just
Yeah,
train people,
yeah.
right? But there's so much detail that goes into it that we just don't know, right? We don't know what we
True,
don't
true.
know, right? And I didn't know, right? So, and this is why I did this course, right? To give fighters, I mean, what I didn't have, what you didn't have, stuff that took me 7 years studying business now, all right? 7 years studying business, 7 years of research, mentorship. I don't watch TV at all. All I do is listen to business podcasts and read business books, right? If I'm not training or working in a gym, that's all I do, right? If I'm not with my family, I'm obsessed, right? The same way I've been obsessed with MMA. That's just my nature, right? If I'm into something, I'm into something. I'm going to figure this out. So when I came up with this concept, I'm like, what's the number one thing? So I'm in position now, right? What's the number one thing that I can give back to athletes that I can help them on their journey, right? Number one thing I wish I had, all right? So
Yeah.
with the world net where it is now, everyone's doing technique. You can go out, you can find a breakdown of any technique you want in the entire world, right? You can fight, you can find structure, you can find strategy, you can find nutrition, everything you want, right? So I'm looking up. So I started to look up. Let me find out business for MMA fighters. Dun dun dun. Nothing, right? And it's the number one thing, number one reason why people will leave. All
Very
right.
true.
So I'm like, let me try to put a dent in this. All right. But now I'm learning the hard way that it's hard to put a dent in it because you can't get them to listen. All right. That's what I'm talking because they're yeah, and I get it. It's not a fun subject, right? It's not talking finances is
Really
not
not.
a fun subject, right? But it like if you want to pursue this game, right, and you want to give yourself the best shot of going just spending the most amount of time training to get as good as you can get. I mean, you got to get your finances in order, right? Otherwise, it's going to be stressful as shit. And a fight comes up and you got to take 6 weeks off. You're going to try yourself trying to find a balance of work and life. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be drained. You know what I mean? So, and do you agree? What do you have? Any thoughts so far on what I'm talking about?
So that is why I wish I had this at the age of 21 when I started MMA, because I could actually remember the struggles and the struggles when I started training with you doing. I don't know if you knew, but I was now coming out of the judo phase when I was, remember I told you they keep dropping the salary for the judo
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And at the beginning of the
I
gym,
saw you, man.
I live
Eating
in
one
a
meal a
Rima,
day, eating one meal
bro.
a day, taking a bus, sleeping in the gym. I saw you grind. Like you
Bro,
don't have to. You don't
bro.
have to tell me.
Yeah, it was. I came from a Rima. I don't even know how I used to get money to come to town every day. But when I come to town, I remember a long time it used to have japs for $14. So when I come to town, I know I have to buy the best japs with probably a fries with the biggest breast or whatever. And I know that is my meal. And I have 2 or 3 training sessions for the day. And I have to time this meal to perfection. So when I come in the morning, I won't eat. We'll have our morning session and then I will sometimes once I'm so tired, I fall asleep right on the mat. Our second training session probably at what 1? We had a session at 1. Get up, go on bathe, come back for that session, and then the later session was in the night with Rafa, also the national team and stuff. So sometimes after my second session, sometimes I have to ask Dwayne for some protein. Yeah, I'd ask him, Brain, give me some protein shake now, boy. Or I'll probably go and buy a box of Chinese, which was like $19 or stuff like that. So and I had time that to perfection. And it was a grind. Sometimes I had to sleep in Dwayne bed while doing a real tired, but because I can't go home and come back, or I have nowhere to go. I had to stay in the gym for the whole day. So sometimes I say doing a real tired. He say go and take a nap now while he teaching classes in the afternoon because we have training in the night and stuff like that. And that was a real struggle. And even though when I started working, when you hooked me up with Gerard and I started working, when we go to represent the country and stuff in martial arts and we come back in our competitions. We come back rich with medals and achievements and stuff like that. But the next few weeks is a struggle because you've been out of a job and you're living paycheck to paycheck. And that time when you go away to fight, that's a 2 week gap because you had to put traveling into it and stuff like that. And it's a struggle to get back on because you don't have the money, you're broken, you still have to go to training because when you come back, the dream continues. And little people little do people know about the struggle is and it's only the strong that will survive. And I was fortunate enough to have a boss that had really liked me at the time, Gerard. I was like his son. I don't know if to tell you, but the kind of pick on I got through with my with the with the supervisors, and then they didn't like me at all. But Jared had something in his heart for me because he actually used to train mixed martial arts with Dwayne, and he knew what it's like, and he was into it, and he saw the passion within me, and he invested his time and stuff in me, gave me the time to go and train and come back. But the youth of today and the boss of today, no boss is going to give you that time off to go and do what you have to do and come back and stuff like that and get picked from the supervisors and everything. And it is a struggle, and I struggle. I actually struggled for years until I became my own boss. And I say in 2018, you know what? I realized that I have something that people want, which was just feeding pads, pad training and stuff like that. I wasn't even like a personal trainer with weights as yet. But I started with kickboxing and I did the maths. I sit down, I write down, I say, all right, if I had X amount of clients, I'll have X amount of money. And when I stopped working for people, that was a struggle. Especially July, August, when everybody go away, you have 1 or 2 clients that you're holding on to survive. Oh my gosh, dude. When I tell you this thing was a struggle, I don't know how I make it through this far, but it was God and having people like you in my life that was able to guide me and stuff like that. But these are the stories that people don't know about. The financial struggle that I went through for that amount of time. And it's only when I started to build my reputation and people start to know me and I gain more clients and people start to enjoy the boxing and the word spread. And yeah, that was the only times that things started to go up, and it was still a struggle even then. It was always a struggle, and up to today is still a struggle. I'm not saying life is perfect on my end. It could get better. I'm actually really looking forward to retiring soon and just dialing like how Dwayne dial 100% in business and coaching, because coaching is my passion, and I see I see the room for mixed martial arts. I know mixed martial arts is going to be an Olympic sport very soon. So right now I'm aligning myself and I'm going through the mixed martial arts university, all the omoplatas and stuff that Dwayne spoke about. When I'm going to speak to Dwayne again, I'm going to say, Dwayne, we need to put a mixed martial arts program down. Although we have one with the IMMAF and stuff like that, but we need to put our own mixed martial arts. He started it, and I still follow his syllabus with the series, all the series and stuff like that, series one, series two, all up to series six, all the boxing combos and stuff like that. And I really wish I had this knowledge back then, Dwayne. So I think I would have been able to make a bigger impact in my career. And little that people know, I actually went to the bank. I'm always ambitious. So I was like, you know what? I didn't tell anybody this, but I went to the bank at one point in time, just before I bought my car. That was the reason why I bought my car. I went to the bank and I asked the bank for $100,000. Reason being, I asked the bank for $100,000 so I could start a grocery in a Rima at my home. I say I will let my mother and my family run the grocery so I'll have time to train and I'll have time to go away and train. The bank turned back and tell me, bro, we can't lend you 100,000 and that's too much of money for we to lend you. I say, all right, how much you can lend, man? They say, all right, you can get about 60 something thousand. I say, all right, well, you know what? I will buy a car and invest in my car for personal training so I could do house calls and stuff like that. And when I did that, that opened up another gap for me. And I just been abiding by the laws that Dwayne Hinds had taught me, and look, I'm here, and I'm still doing it. 34 years old, I've seen a lot of people fall by the wayside, and this guy here, he's really awesome. So whoever the athletes listening, trust me, that this is a gem that we have from Trinidad and Tobago, and I wish I could do it all over again with the knowledge that he have now. So I don't have to go through the things that I went through, but yeah, man, doing. Thanks for everything.
I appreciate the kind words, man. But so yeah, so that's it, right? So the system I'm looking to implement, right, is to what we do, what I do now, what you do now, right, is like and you're like the so everybody know Joash is my business partner, so he runs the gym in Trinidad, right? And so now he has a system. He just comes in, turns the TV on, all right, and workouts. So you don't have to think about doing workouts the night before. About warm ups. Don't have to worry about if the workouts are going to be engaging or fun or so that eliminates that process of it, right? So, but that's the last step. If you have your own little studio gym, that'll get you there, right? So what I'm trying to teach people is all the little steps in between. So if you don't know anything about business, right, or you're working a job right now and you're struggling, or you're trying to start holding pads, or being a coach on the side, is I'm trying to teach people like what I make what in 6 weeks I make what I make now what I make in what I used to make in 6 months I make in 6 weeks because of the way I structured the business, right? So I don't do one-on-ones, right? Like everyone wants like I'm a whole pad to you, right? Yeah, you can do that, right? But you're gonna be to make you have to work what 6 hours a day to still make enough, right? So all I do is semi-privates now, right? Semi-privates, right? But so it's the same amount of price for privates, and you're gonna pay for semi-private. So you literally triple, quadruple your income by training two, three, right? But you're wondering how can I charge and one person for one-on-one price? How can I charge 300? Because it's the offer, the structure, right? So right now, someone calls someone in the gym, MMA fighter. Let's say I used to do it, right? Someone will call me, and be like, "Yeah, it's $50 for the $50 for an hour. You come in whole pads, whole pads for you. You learn some self defense. You get in shape. It'd be fun. Click, you know what I mean? And then once in a while, like maybe half the people, maybe less than half, would actually come and actually show up and do it. Who actually called, right? Uh, but then it was just a one-off, right? Like they'll do two, three, they'll pay me every each session. Then they might cancel, they might get sick, right? And then I lose out on that money that day, right? Does that sound familiar?
Definitely.
All right, so
Yeah.
that's how it was, right? That's I didn't know better, right? But now this is how I do it. Someone calls me, it's like, I heard you do pads, but all right, come on down. But first, we need to do a meet and greet, right? So I get to know you, get to know what your goals are, see what you're looking for, see if I'm a good fit for you, see if I'm a good fit for me. We talk about your injuries, what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, and they'd be like, "Well, just tell me the price, all right?" So this is just like business, right? I'm just giving like I'm going right, all right. But I can't tell you the price. I'll tell you the price. It starts from $50 to $1,000, right? But it's like a doctor. If you call a doctor and be like, "Hey, I want to get better," the doctor needs to see you, needs to see what you want, needs to sit down, talk to you, right? Or you call a mechanic, "Hey, my car needs to get fixed." All right, well, you got to bring the car in for me to look at it to see what's going on, to see what I need to fix. All right, so
Yeah.
now someone calls me, it's like, all right, come on down, do a meet and greet. All right, so that's the first step, right? So I'm giving you little clues here into the program, right? So if you're an MMA fighter, like basic business is never give you a price on the phone or give a big range, right? You want to sit down and talk to them. You sit down and talk to them. Now, if you have a good offer, right, then you have a sales process, right? You're helping people. You know they want to do this. You know they want to help. The reason they called you is because they need help, all right? They need help with their health and fitness, all right? So, but now there's a sales process, right? Talk about their history, what they tried in the past, what they didn't try, right? And so something I call a close-up, clarify why they're there, right? And label them. So repeat back to them why they're there, so you know exactly you're on the same page. And go, right? Overview everything they've tried in the past, right? Explain away any concerns like they may have. Oh, can I do this? Some injury, whatever, right? Tell the sales process. Tell them about what you're doing, all right? And if you have a good, and then uh, reinforce this in. As soon as they leave, be like, "Hey, great, look forward to training with you," blah blah blah. Or if they didn't sign up, great talking to you. But it's a process, right? So now that person talking to you, which one sounds better? Which one is likely to sign up? Hey, it's 120. If I do get fitter, or you go through all this, right? So I go from like half the people. So now 8 out of 10 people who come and see me pay, right? But now they're not paying me per session because I know what I'm doing. I sell packages, right? And I'm not. I can say fitness, or come hit pads with me, all right? Come hold some pads with me, right? For $50 for a half hour, cool, right? Or I can be like, hey, so your goal, because I know their goal, because we did meet and greet. Your goal is you really want to lose weight, look better, because you want to set a bad example for your kids, and you want to be more active at home. You just feel drained. You want to get off this medication. The doctor said you have a little heart problem. You got to get off. You got to start exercising. So all right, how about this? I give you a full package, right, with nutrition, and that nutrition package includes customized meal plan, grocery list, 3 recipe ebooks to go along with that, travel eat out guide, restaurant eat out guide, meal prep guide. Right, so everything you need to do for nutrition is covered, right? And then on top of that, accountability process, right? Saying you're gonna do something's easy, actually doing it. So every day I'm gonna put you in a group. Every day we have contact with you. We do weekly weigh-ins to check your progress. Bi-weekly consultations to make sure everything is good, anything is formed, give me any feedback, what you change, what you don't like about it, all right? And then, and then the fitness, of course, whole pads, it's gonna be fun, engaging, all right? But it's top of doing just, you need to build some strength too. So the pads are gonna be great for getting the explosive, losing that weight, but let's add some strength work in there too, all right? So you get stronger, so you keep your gains, all right? And so you're not gonna end up skinny fat, all right? And now I'm giving them a 6-week package, all paid in full. I don't have to worry about that person canceling me the next day, and that person leaves there like, holy crap, I didn't expect that. It's like, I thought I was gonna talk to this guy about holding pads to me, right? Now they leave there with a life-changing relation. I'm gonna get fit, and it's gonna be fun. It's a accountability process, the nutrition. He's gonna be tracking my progress. Da 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 da. Right. So I should charge $100 a month to join my classes, or $50 a session. Now it's like 90%, 80% of people who come here spend at least $600 for 6 weeks to start the program. But the offer has changed, right? But if you're a regular pad holder, like $50 an hour, right? But for me to get that, to learn that, took me years and years and years and years and years, right?
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm trying to show fighters, do that, right? So do that, right? So you can say, so now you can train one. So you don't have to be like me. I still got to provide for my family, right? If you're living the fighter's life, minimum overheads, and your goal should be right? Work as least as possible, so spend most amount so you have more energy and time to spend on training to get better. All right.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is do one semi-private a day. You know what I mean? Make 200, 250 an hour, 3 times a week, 3 to 3 hours for the week. You know what I mean? That's 750, right? That's talking Canadian here, right? So you're talking, right? 3 grand, 3 grand for the month, working 3 hours a week, right? You can more than live on that, right? And
Really?
now you're running your own business, right? You're self-employed. If you need to take time off, you don't have to be like, hey boss, can I get time off? Or just decide between quitting this job and doing that training camp. All right. You have flexibility, right? So if you want to do more classes because you need to make more money to buy a car, so instead of doing 3 hours a week, you do 6 hours a week. All right, 9 hours a week, right? And now you have something in the bank when you need to take some time off for that camp, shut it down. Sorry guys, you know what I mean? I'm taking off this camp. You know what I mean? But now you have some financial backing, right? So that's how I'm trying to position fighters, and they can do it and do it right. What I'm trying to do, so my first 3 case studies, I'm doing this 3 case studies, but I'm doing this whole program for free. That's what I'm trying to get this
Yeah.
word out there, right? So I want to make it as easy as possible, right? Day one, learn to write a pitch, do a social media post, create an offer, do the program for free to get social proofs, get all hiccups away. So when people do start paying, right, it's fine-tuned machine. You know all the ins and outs, you know the system, right? But those are your first. If you do it correctly, those first
Yeah.
five clients are free are going to convert to paying clients because you took their feedback, you listened to them, they were engaged, they got great results. They're now your first paying clients. Now you start a wait. Now you ask for that referral. You start a waiting list. So anyone who leaves, a next person can just bump in or start a second class. You want to make more money, right? So I'm trying to teach you, and then I'm trying to make it as easy as possible because I know you don't have time to learn all this shit. So I'm giving you my whole nutrition course. You don't have to learn nutrition. For you to learn to do a proper nutrition course, you need to do a nutrition certified, and you have to do their calorie counts and all that stuff. I'm giving you. You just send them a link. Check these videos out. All I'm asking you to do is print out these folders, so when you do it, you can go through it with them. All right. For the workouts, I give you all the workouts. You don't have to sit there and be like, are they gonna like this? All the workouts have been tried and tested. I give you the
True,
system.
true.
Here's the combos, all right? You do 2, 3, 4, and it's gonna build,
Yeah.
build, build, build. By the end of the 6 weeks, they're gonna be hitting this crazy combo. They're gonna feel like freaking Rocky. They're gonna feel amazing. They're gonna feel like Superman. I know this because it's been tried and tested, all right? The accountability side of it is gonna feel like because they're not training alone. These people, other 4 people, 5 people they're training with, there's that bond in there. So they're not just leaving you, they're leaving that little family, that little community that they joined, all right? So I'm teaching you how to do it right from the start without going through all the shit I went through, right? But I can't get the fighters to listen. I only have 2 fighters taking it right now. They're 2 weeks in. The first fighter already made the one guy already made his first $500 because they joined a different program without even joining this one, right? And they're all starting, so it's all been getting crazy feedback. Everything has been going as planned. They start on Monday. They have their first 5 clients ready to rock on Monday, so it's been going streamlined. Obviously, I found my presentations can be better. The way I verbalize it can be better, and that's why I'm doing it right 3 times. So when I do send it out there to the world, like it'd be like, yo, this is a
Sure.
well-tuned machine, right? So how do I get fighters to listen? How would I get you to
How
listen?
do
Oh, Joash, 21 years old. I'm telling you this. How would I get you to listen?
how you get me to listen?
Or how would I get fighters, guys
Um,
in your gym?
well, we like to see proof. So when those two guys, when those two guys go through the process, you show the other guys that you know what these two guys, it's possible. And those two guys that are doing it, those are two well-known guys in the circuit, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. And the word is going to get out. The word is definitely going to get out. Just trust the process and keep doing what you're doing. And you say how much times? 100 times.
Right.
Yeah, just keep at it, bro. I am all gonna come to do the course. I will probably go into the next cycle if it's not too late for me. I know, right? It's been really, really busy for me because I work all day, all night trying to. But I'm gonna get in the course eventually also because I need to get my hand on some more knowledge to upgrade what I already know. I don't know everything in the book, and I'm still learning on the job. So. Yeah, keep doing it. I will spread the word. I message every fight group in Trinidad actually to and I tell them that, hey, this is the word, and nobody pay heed. So a lot of people go through these struggles, and but don't worry, it's gonna pay off in the end. Perseverance wins.
Yeah,
I'm not frightened at all. Yeah, trust the process. It's gonna work.
and so this is what this like. I know it's not a pretty subject. I know I'm not showing you how to set up a freaking Superman punch. You know what I mean, or a takedown. I mean, but if you nail this right early in your career, right, it's gonna make everything so much. It's gonna make you so much better everywhere, right? It's gonna be so stress. You know what I mean? Like your future's lined up. You get injured today, at least you know how to run a business. I mean, when you retire, you know how to scale the business. You know what I mean? It's just like, everything I'm teaching you is for a fighter, right? So you can, where I had to learn it is I learned just general business, right? And then I had to apply it to my profession of pad holding and small groups and group training, right? And then I started off like big, right? And then I realized, wait, the problems with going big is you end up doing so much admin work, right? You're like, I mean, it's just like, and as fighter, I personally don't like that crap, right? I don't like calling people, hey, your credit card didn't go through today. Hey, you didn't come to training today, or we're gonna be canceling next month, or you know, I mean, just doing the sales process. It drove me nuts. But I know the playbook for going big, but after doing it, I'm just like, I'd rather make less and be happy and have free time and do what I love on the floor interacting rather than be doing an admin all day, right? Like, and eventually you could come out of that admin role once you hire a general manager and I mean operator and CFO, but it takes at least 2-3 years to get to that position. I didn't want to put it in, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
I rather stay. So what I call is, so there's enterprise business, a business you like. If you continue going that big business, all right, you can scale it and then sell it, all right, because it's self-efficient. All right. What I'm
Yeah.
having is a lifestyle business, right? Now, which is just freedom, fun, and flexibility. All right. And so I rather make a little less, all right, but be able to travel with my family whenever I want. You know what I mean? Have a lot more flexibility, freedom, a lot less stress. Right? It's a good vibe, and I'm comfortable there. Right? So I don't care about being rich. Once I'm happy, right? And my family is good, all right. So, but if you want, like, I know the process to get there, right? So if you're willing to take that
Yeah.
route, I can lead you all the way up the tunnel with this, all right? And then, so this is the first process: learn how to be a coach, a semi-private, private personal trainer kind of coach, and then go into like once you get into retirement, open up your own studio gym like you, right? Like me, and then if you want to go bigger and go a big gym and go like multiple gyms, I have the process for that with a plug and go system, which you guys use down in Trinidad, right? And I use here. Just hit play, and I follow the workouts, proven exercises. So that's why I'm doing this, and this is a new venture I'm on, and I'm excited about it. It's a passion project. It's the nice thing about it, right? There's no rush, right? It's like if it doesn't work, I'm gonna still keep at it, right? Because the people who do listen, right, they could change the whole trajectory of their lives, right? And eventually, I think every MMA school in the world should have this kind of system as a mandatory. If you decide, hey, I want to pursue this thing real, right? It's like,
Don't worry, don't worry. I'm willing to take it to that next level. So it will definitely be I will definitely be one of your testimonies going forward for the world to see. To be honest, I would like to be like the Don Jacob of mixed martial arts in the space, the Caribbean, the world, stuff like that. And that's my goal and that's my vision. And I'm gonna definitely, especially when I retire, I don't know, but I have a kind of joy looking forward to retirement, to be honest, because I love coaching with all my heart. I love, impacting others, and I love to see, people lives change and stuff like that. That is what I was put on this earth to do, to impact others and change lives and stuff. And yes, we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it fit to the world, and we're gonna make this thing really big because I'm going that distance. So I'll be a testimony, and I'll work along with you until we can't work together no more until death us do part. And yeah, if they
Yeah.
don't want to listen from somewhere along the line, they're gonna definitely listen. So yeah,
Well, we dream big, right? We want to get to UFC. We didn't get there. We got to one FC, right? So I might not get to every gym in the world, but I'm gonna get to a lot. I think eventually. All right. And when you do join the ride, it's gonna change the game completely. But I'm not putting any pressure on you to do it because I still want you to focus on your career. All right. And then so I'm just letting you, all right, just focus on that, right? You have enough on your plate, but then when you do join, you can be an advocate. You're going to be the vice president. You're going to be my partner in this next journey that we're going to go on together, right? And like, so
definitely.
we know, I know, we both know it's not fun. It's not sexy. It's not a Superman punch. It's not spinning back fist, you know what I mean? But it's like triangle, flying triangle. But you get this right, you do it right, right? And it's going to free up so much. It's going to change your life, right? Like, speed, times, stress, you know, and like everything is gonna be set and everything is gonna be it's step by step by step by step by step. Like literally day one, do this. All right. And I'm excited about it. All right. And so excited about when you eventually do join it, taking to that next level. All right. And this continues, it's like this is like my life's work, right? It's just like you said, this is what I was put here to do, right? It's combining, right, the first 14 years, right, the biggest part of my life, martial arts, right, with the last 7 years of my life, business, right? So it's combined the two, right? And in like it's a poor man's sport, but it doesn't have to be if you know what you're doing, right? Like I make a great not to boast or brag, I make a great living for me and my family. Like I said, running my own small gym, and I take a few trips a year, and life is not good, right? Life is good, right? And you could be for you too. And I've got the system in place. And but the thing is, I'll be want to be honest, right? There is no quick fix, right? It's like learning anything, right? I can't be like, hey, snap my fingers, right? You still need to put in some work, right? I just try to make it as easy instead of doing, right, 8 hours a day, right, for 3 years, 4 years, like going to university to get your degree in this stuff. Right, 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day for 60 days. All right. And for the rest of your life, and you got this little business that you can run back on. And the skills in it can apply to any business, right? You just change you just change the offer and the product, right? But you apply the same formula. You're gonna have to market, you have to sell, right? And you're gonna have to market, sell, and you're gonna have to build a product that people want, an offer. And you want to do it in a way where you can get the most amount of money up front and I am paid for. So it's not like $50 per session like we do with personal training like that, right? Which people don't understand. Like, yeah, it's good, and then still you get that call, hey, I'm sick, I'm not showing up today. When you're counting on that $50 to buy lunch, you know what I mean? Trust me, I know I've been there, man. So um that's the next stage in this whole journey. Will you watching that Gordon Ryan fight tonight? I think it's coming up soon.
Oh, it's the night.
Yeah,
What
super.
what is what is what's showing on? I don't even know
80,
what the ADC.
ADCC Absolute Division it's over there. I'm playing on my phone. That's on tonight. And then the Gordon Ryan super fight against the absolute champ from last time. That's
I'll
on.
check it out.
He beat Gordon Ryan beat Felipe Pena last night, 2-zip and like most boring match of all time. Yo,
I didn't
you
see
gotta
it.
respect him, right? He's the best to ever do it. But I don't like the guy, and just it's hard to like. And he's just so
Why
cocky and
why
arrogant.
don't like
His
well the
attitude is
guy
just so cocky, arrogant. It sells, right? But he's like the perfect villain role, right? Not the perfect hero role. So, I mean, whatever he still got as a brand, he's still doing it. Like, you got to pay attention when he talks, when he does something. I mean, so
yeah.
the route he's taking is just like, and you just want to see him lose so bad, right? Like, I mean, so
Well, that's why so many people tune in. Some tune in to see him win, some people tune in to see him lose. But the character that he's playing, you have to tune in some way or the other. So it's working for him, and yeah, someone like him. I like him because I don't really take on his antics and stuff like that. But just for the part that he's one of the greatest around and stuff like that. Yeah, listen to his instructionals and learn a lot too. So yeah. That's
nah,
why I probably like him so much.
Yeah, like it's all about brand, and it's something else I teach in the course, right? Brand. I was gonna wrap it up, but since you brought up, so that's a brand, right? And like he's playing the villain role, right? You can be like the Conor McGregor, play like the hero role. You got the villain role, right? But you want to be noticed, right? The worst place person to be in is to be neutral, right? Where
Yeah,
you just don't stick out. Either be that's like that really nice good guy, or that bad guy, or whatever your typical personality is, take it to a little bit extreme so you stand out. As a fighter, it's a brand. And so in the branding thing, right? Just talking about so I said I tell people now, right? I make more money off of sponsorship than as a 40-year-old, like 40-year-old little studio gym owner in the middle of nowhere, train a bunch of old business people, recreational people, all right, than I ever did as retired as a number 4 ranked welterweight in ONE FC, right? It's just like because I'm built a brand, all right. I didn't know
yeah,
how important that was, right? So it's like so before I go, like any typical fighter would go to a brand and be like, hey, I'll wear your brand on my shirt. You know what I mean? And thousands of people will see it in the audience. You know what I mean? And hundreds of people online would see it. So me wearing your shirt, da 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 da. And that's how we go to brands. Is that how you go? And then now
yeah,
like we sell it, right? But now that I know business, I realize how stupid, like sorry, not how like when brands do agree to give you money for that or product for that, they're only doing it right for for charity and to look good in the community, the tax write off, right? Because honestly, if they pay for $50, 50 US, they can use a video ad, right,
yeah,
targeted to their age group, right, males 25 to 35, not a logo on a shirt, but a video targeted to age for $50, right, online.
yeah,
Right? So why would I give you stuff? Right? Well, $50, I can cover what you're covering, but better because in your audience, how many of them be their girlfriends who won't care about the brand, all right?
yeah,
And it's a logo compared to a video where I'm be showing the product being used and stuff like that. All right. So if as a business owner, think about now, you're gonna pay. You want me to give you money to go to Mexico, which would be like say, and to cover your cost of expenses, which would be like say 2 grand. All right, and you want me to give you that because you're gonna have my logo on your shirt. And I'm like Leon Edwards fought the other day, right? Like, let's see,
yeah.
let's use a good example, right? Last night, Adesanya, what logo was on his shirt?
I don't know what the crypto. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right there, right? It's kind of a trick question, right? All UFC fighters have crypto and venom, right?
Crypto.
Right, but you have to think about it, right? Because you weren't paying attention at all to what's on that guy's
Oh,
shirt. All right.
no.
So in all honesty, like and as a business person, I know no one cares what's on John's boating store. No one cares that, you know what I mean? But now
Yes.
so that's how a typical fighter goes in there, right? Now a fighter in
Yeah,
my program, fighter goes through the program, they go in like this, all right? We start building their brand. They get up to 3,000, 5,000 followers, right? Takes them 6 months to a year. Using the system that I put in place. So you're doing, yeah, I'm showing you how to give value on the daily posts, giving you what to post, right? Telling you the words and everything, or the scripts, just change it up a little bit to make yours, all right? Now you go in there, you
yeah,
get 5,000 followers, all right? You post 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Each one gets like 1,000 views, all right? Each one gets 1,000 views. So you get 4,000 views weekly on average. All right. So now you go into the sponsors, all right, and be like, hey, all right, hey, can you sponsor me? I want to go on this trip to pay for this fight. All right. What do you have to offer? Instead of logo on shirt and be like, well, I do content online, right? My biggest target audience, right? Ages 25 to 35, because I did a little research. Your target audience, the people you try to sell your product to, all right? I get 4,000 views a week. All right. I know it's going to cost you to hit that target audience 200 US to hit that target audience a week. All right. And I'm gonna start wearing your shirt on my. I can wear your shirt on my logo. I can talk about your brand. I can use it as product placement in the back. And the nice thing about it is every reel, like on like an ad that you're gonna pay for, it never disappears. It's not like if you stop paying, the ad stops running. That reel is gonna be on
yeah,
my wall forever. All right. But here's
yeah.
what. So I know it's gonna cost you $200, but just give me $100 a week, all right, and some product, all right, and then you can just be my sponsor, and I'll wear your shirt on my logo. Now you got my
Yeah,
attention because now you spoke numbers to them. And as a business guy, it makes sense. All right, I'm
Yeah, it
saving money
does.
on ads, hitting my target audience. You know what I mean? The reel's it's gonna compound, continuously get views as this guy gets bigger. My product's gonna get bigger with it, gonna grow with him. Right? But now I go in there with value. Here, I'm actually giving you real value. All right, like, and a business person be like, yeah, that makes sense. Here's your $100. Here's what I'll give you $2,000 up front because you need to pay for that trip, and for the next 20 weeks,
Yeah.
next 20 weeks, you know what I mean? I just won't pay you because you need the money up front. All right. And here's some product to go with that. All right. Look forward to working with you. Nice doing business. Have a great day. All right. It's not
Yeah,
charity anymore. You know what I mean? You're now going there as a businessman, present yourself as a person giving the company value. Easy trade off once the offer is right. Again, all right. But but
yeah,
you don't know that, you don't know those numbers. You don't know to do that. I didn't know to do that until I'm in the position I'm at now. All right. So now
yeah,
now I get millions of views a month. Right? All right. I can go to a brand and I can be like, hey, your target audience, right? The reel's gonna be up there forever. Right? All right.
yeah.
Pay me. Try to lowball me. I'm just like, dude, I know how much you're gonna pay to get what I'm worth. All right. So I just go somewhere else. All right. Nice doing business. Have a great day. All right. So now I'm in control because I know what I'm bringing to the table. Right. So little things like that,
Okay.
that's also going to cover in the course. All right. And then another thing about brand, right? A lot of fighters talk about YouTubers, or the purists talk about YouTubers taking over the game. Right. And they're getting paid more than professional athletes and skilled athletes and stuff like that, right? Because they have an audience. It's a business. Promotion's a business. Right? If I'm running a fight, right, I don't care that people like you or that you're skilled. I'm a promoter. I want to make money. Right? This
Sure.
YouTuber is bringing in 1 million followers from YouTube to pay $10 for our card. Right? He's gonna get people to come to the show, sell tickets. All right. So as a
Yeah.
fighter, brand is credible. So now you go to a promoter, right? You're like, hey, I'm 0-2. All right, but I have 5,000 followers. All right, 1%, 50 people are gonna pay $10. So you say you get to 20,000, right? You're gonna pay $10 to the card, right? And I'm sell tickets because I have this amount of audience. People like me, right? Now, even if you have a shit record, you can get on bigger cards, bigger promotions,
Sure.
bigger fights, right? Because you have value. You're building a brand, right? You build so, but I know most fighters don't know how to do that, right? Because it's not, they're worried about crosses and blocking and split. So that's
Yeah.
why this
Sure.
course, right, takes 60 days. Take 60 days, right? And you can fast track the rest of your career forever, right? Like the financial work part, your brand side, right? Getting sponsorship side, getting fights and promotions. So it compounds everywhere throughout your career. If you just took the 60 days to just really like, let me just spend some time on this little business shit for boring shit for a second. You know what I mean? It's really
Yeah.
gonna help me everywhere else. So yeah, I know I talked a lot. I blabbered on, but it's a
Well,
passion
yeah, that's good.
project.
That's
I'm trying to show people the bigger picture, right? Like I know that you don't grasp it, they don't get it until I have some social proof. That's why these case
yeah,
studies are important.
definitely.
But it'll be nice to even have these case studies even bigger, right? Because I mean, two people, easy to work with. You know what I mean? Like I know them. Like how would a stranger take it, right? How would different someone from Louisiana take it? How would someone from Texas take it compared to someone from Trinidad or someone from Eastern Europe, right? That's why I'm trying to, even now with these podcasts, I'm trying to build those case studies. I'd like to have at least 10 in each one,
Yeah.
right? So I can get more variables for everything, right? So like, those guys don't mind how I talk, or that my hair's not messed up, or my hair's messed up when I show up at 1 o'clock. But someone might be like, "Hey, Dwayne, you should comb your hair. You know, just slow down your speech. You shouldn't talk so much. All I want to do is get better. Right. So more feedback I get. So that's why I'm doing these podcasts and bringing you on to talk to even just get better at describing the pitch, selling the pitch, and let people know what it's about, and people hear your struggles, and just trying to get the word out there. Because I know it could change people's lives if they took this shit serious. All right. So anything, any last words or anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, what I'm gonna tell the viewers, if you're a mixed martial artist, so a fighter just looking to achieve greatness in the sport, yeah, check out Dwayne Hinds. What was the name of the brand?
Fight like.
Fight, fight life, life,
Fight life.
light,
Fight life.
fight life. Yeah, check out Fight Life on Instagram. Check out Dwayne Hinds on Instagram. The guy has just been around him. I ain't even do the course, and just being around him, I've reached where I am today. If you have to come to do mixed martial arts in Trinidad, probably one of the first person would be mentioned is Joash Walkins and Hit Fit. And actually, Hit Fit hit 14,000 followers today. So, yeah, we'll
You
see.
gotta go check in those sponsors, man. You could try getting some sponsors,
Yeah,
right? In Trinidad, that's
yeah,
a big number, right? You see, what's
yeah,
certified sound. You see what those guys are doing with their brand, right?
yeah,
That guy, like,
definitely.
there's skits and reels, but because he has a brand, he opens up an ice cream shop. Nothing to do with what his skits and reels are. Because he has a brand, he opens up a right ice cream shop, sells out ice cream first day, lines around the corner, right? All right. So it's all
Yeah,
about brand building. The nice thing about like where we are in 2024, all right, everyone has like I heard this back in my teacher told me this back in 2003 in college. Like everyone someday is going to have their own TV channel, right? And back then there was no YouTube or so I couldn't grasp it. I'm like everyone's gonna have a satellite outside their house, you know what I mean? Like, right? But now everyone has their own channel, right? And
true.
like it doesn't have to be a big. Everyone has their own niche, right? Once you're given value, right? Someone, even if it's 90 views, right? Even if it's like don't screw the views, all right? For at the beginning, all right? Just get put in the time, 100 reels or 100 days, you know, and you're gonna start finding your voice, find what people, find your message, and then start building that. And that's everything. So anything you touch later on in life, if you want to get a job, actual sponsors, you know, and fight promotions, you right, to reach more people, clients, tell them about a product, right? It's gonna compound your life everywhere. Right? Start making content, all right, today, all right, just talk to them, right? Just go back and watch my early reels, right? Complete shit. All right. I completely embarrassed myself. Like I'm like said 100 days, 89th one took off, old timer series reborn. Now we're here having this conversation, trying to change the world. All right. So guys, have a great night. Joash Walkins. I mean, love you, man. Like guys,
I love
check
it
out
too, brother.
The Honey Badger Walkins. Check him out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you can find him. If you're ever in Trinidad, go check out Hit Fit Gym. Go look him up. Go find him. The guy is great human being all around, not just great martial artist, but great person and great heart and good vibes. All right, love you, brother. Have a good night. Thanks for joining
You
us.
too. Thanks for having me.
All
Take
right,
care.
peace.
Peace and love. Yeah, bro.
Later.